recording. 2 weeks in a row. We back, Sheepers. Diable, good morning. Welcome in. Kata, good morning. Gooba, good morning. Good morning, Mods. Good morning, Lamtops. Good morning, up and coming VTubers of 2025. Sheep. Bam, 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 bam. Good morning, Lula. Good morning. Chad, you're my very special guest again today. Bam, 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 bam. We back, Sheepers. Big apologies to everyone that was on the Twitch stream yesterday. We had a bunch of tech issues and everything broke. My whole computer and streaming equipment bricked because of a bunch of errors. I'm sorry, Taha. We're back today. And I will be back tomorrow for those expecting some gaming streams. We like the sound of that? Heck yeah! Can't you see us? Actually, no, I'm illiterate. Chat is trending second time on the podcast. Absolutely, you guys are the best guest ever. This is our first podcast of 2025, chat. How are we feeling about the new year? Sheep. Good afternoon, welcome in. Hope everyone's doing well today. Reading on a Lulu stream? Never. Hi, first time here. Hi, nice to meet you. Welcome in. My name is Little Funny Gamer. Welcome. Take a seat. This is a classroom. Everyone, shh, turn off your phones. Turn off your phone. Are you watching on your phone? Turn off your phone right now. Special guest for a very special host. Mega, you're so sweet. Dun. Wonderful time zone. Happy time zone, cha. Happy time zone. Are you guys ready? Today's episode will be more informative content. 07 to mobile users. 07 forever. Okay, cha. Okay, are you guys ready? Are you ready for the first episode of the SHEEPIUM podcast in the new year? Let's go! Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the SHEEPIUM podcast. My name is Little Funny Gamer Sheep. If you're here for the very first time today, I normally stream over on Twitch Wednesday to Sunday, 3 p.m. GMT. That's 10 a.m. Eastern time for the Burgerlanders on the East Coast. I normally play a lot of video games. We do chat submissions quite a lot. I review your homework, and I also have this here wonderful podcast. We're starting off with a new season in the new year in about 2 weeks' time. I'll be bringing on my first guests over here, and we're moving to an interview-style podcast where I'll be interviewing other... Almost said freaking FleshTuber again. Where we'll be interviewing other content creators, VTubers, IRL streamers, and those in between. 2 weeks, yay! SHEEPIUM podcast is moving to a every 2 weeks fresh episode kind of format rather than 1 episode per month, so I can do a little bit more with other streamers. Happy New Year, chat, and welcome back to another wonderful day in the cult of capitalism. Today I brought you a very special guest slot. Please give it up for the wonderful, the one and only Lamchops in the chat. Dun 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 dun. Wait, don't I have an applause sound effect somewhere? Come on, this is a radio show, chat. Is this laugh track? Close enough. Close enough, chat. Close enough. There was a little applause at the end. It's been a long time. Happy New Year, Dylan. Welcome in. Welcome in, chat. Welcome in, mods. Thank you so much for joining me today. Today's podcast is very special. Today is a little bit of a reference material for everyone wanting to start out in VTubing in 2025. Those of you that know me from my little shorts over on TikTok, Instagram, over here on YouTube, yay! I do give advice about streaming, and I am a VTuber manager. I started managing last year in summer. Feels good to say, chat. Feels good to say it's been half a year of managing. Heck yeah! And I also stream full-time! Yay! As a VTuber myself. This year, in a little bit over a month, is actually my 4-year anniversary as a streamer. That's crazy! We were buying counts as a laugh. Heck yeah. Informative, take notes, everyone. Those of you that are on the Discord server, I will be sharing my notes after the podcast. So those of you listening over on Spotify, please go and check out the Discord server. Yippee. If you guys want any additional information, for those of you that love taking notes, please go and take notes today. This is just specifically for you. As a streamer, I do often get asked. I get asked nothing. I'm here with my paid actors. Paid actors in the chat. Can I get some worms in the chat? Where are my paid actors at? People often ask me for advice on like growing or how to get started. Sometimes in really, really kind ways where people just don't know how to get started as a VTuber in general. And sometimes in, oh, how do I get VTuber avatar? Question mark. Why no respond? Kind of comments over on TikTok. So for those of you that ask politely, this one's for you. This is my English teacher, chat. This is my English teacher. Okay, so we get paid. You get paid in exposure, like every good chat. Paid in exposure, the artist way. Welcome, chat, to your new life. I get paid in smiles. Cute. Today I wanted to quickly talk about everything streaming related in 2025, things that have changed, and just a plain guide on how to get started. I personally prefer audio and written down guides. I'm not a big fan of video content advice, structured video content, anything tutorial wise. If I can have it in written format, I prefer it. Which, as the person making video content advice, I can't help myself, chat. Paid an exposure to the sun. Chat, be careful, that sun is a deadly laser. Thank you for the worms in the chat. Thank you. I have been a full-time streamer. I'm gonna start with a quick introduction. I have been a full-time streamer since May of 2021. That's a long time ago. I partnered with Twitch in 2022, and I did partner with YouTube in 2023. 2 years ago. Almost said last year. That was a long time ago. Holy sheep. Whoa. I do stream mostly in English, but there is content out there of mine in Japanese and in German. Also, I do create daily shorts over on TikTok, Instagram, and here on YouTube. If you're listening on Spotify, there's also a YouTube channel, beware. I'm active as mostly a gaming/chatting content creator, but I also do make music content. I have a bunch of original songs. The latest one called Vital Signs is over here and available on Spotify and YouTube as well. I mainly stream on Twitch, as I said, occasionally on YouTube, and even more rarely on Bilibili. And for today, I wanted to get started on VTubing as a business. I know there is a big difference between VTubing for fun and the experience and having a hobby. Since I've always been streaming with profit in mind, I can only really advise people on streaming as a business TM and growth strategies as a business. For those that are interested in growing a bit more as a business, I do also offer consultations and advice and management services. Please head over to the Discord server. It should be pinned in the announcement channel if you guys want to apply for this year. Lula's music slaps. Thank you, chat. Thank you. You guys are so sweet. I did give a talk on this a while ago at Offkai in 2023? 22? A long time ago at Offkai Expo, which is a VTuber convention over in the USA. I had a really great time talking about it, and I got a bunch of questions. So I will be running through pretty much similar steps. If you were there, apologies for the repeat. Some things have changed since back then in VTubing, in technology, and in free-to-use content. So beware, take note of that. And if you guys have any questions, I will take a break between each step to go and answer questions in the chat. I also do have time at the very, very end of today's podcast to go and answer more specific questions. I'll make sure to read everything in chat out. So those of you guys listening through Spotify on Sunday or after, wherever you are, hi. 2023, thank you, Cannonball. Thank you. Papa. Where was I? So those of you that want to listen back to it later without the visual can still do that. Welcome in. Oh, Pisley is in the chat. Hi, Pisley. Long time no see. Hope you're doing well today. Let's get started with VTuber debuts. This is probably the most important step for most VTubers. And for a lot of people, the one thing they drop the most amount of money on. But did you guys know that you can actually get started in VTubing for less than $1? I talked about this briefly on Twitter yesterday because I have gripe with the word VTuber. A lot of people overuse the phrase VTuber over on Twitter to go and call out VTubers that haven't debuted yet. Usually in a wrongful way, usually in a hurtful way. Usually it's directed at people that just don't have the budget or the know-how on how to get started. And I think I made a post about VTuber, the insult specifically yesterday. Thank you for coming to my Twitter account. Thank you for reading my hit tweets all day, every day. I saw a bunch of responses that were like, oh, well, but actually, no. I think VTuber is a dumb word. I think that some people take a little bit longer to get started, and all I can really do over here is help out. I did see one comment that was like, low-key managing their partner going, please, why can't my partner get set up with this? I keep telling her what to do. Why doesn't she want to do the thing? Please give people space and let them work at their own pace. Thank you. An elephant never forgets, especially if I was there. Oh yeah, White Cannonball, were you at the off-kai that I did the talk? Ah, that's my editor in chat, by the way. Let's go! Actually, no, shut. It's what it is a very special place, child. What is a very special place. But you can get started in VTubing for $0. There are tons of ways to make free VTuber models, and I'm gonna start with this very, very specifically because this is the preemptive step to testing out if you're even enjoying streaming, if VTubing is for you. If you guys wanted to get started with a custom model for $0, I highly recommend getting a program called VCFace for PC. It's completely free. In this, you can import any kind of .vrm file. You can make a 3D VTuber model over on VRoid Studio, which is available for completely free on Steam. If you head over to Steam right now, just VRoid Studio, one word, VRoid Studio, perfect. So get started with. A lot of VTubers back in my day in 2021 got started this way. I almost started this way. I was playing around with VRoid Studio before they made it more user-friendly. It used to look a little bit like Blender Lite and was very, very difficult. Now it's just kind of like the Sims 4 interface in creating a character. It's really, really easy. Great way to get started. For these, I would highly recommend tracking through either a webcam or an iPhone. If you are just getting started and you only have a gaming laptop, your laptop's integrated webcam will probably work to get stuff started. No need to spend any extra money on it. If you do want to go down the phone route, iPhones are definitely better in tracking for their tracking system in the infrared, for either VRoid Studio or for VTube Studio. Sorry, either for VCFace or for VTube Studio, which is the common live 2D tracking app, which is what I'm using right now. Yippee! There is a free version for this also. The only difference is that there will be a little watermark on the screen when you test it out, which for your first time streaming shouldn't matter so much. If you guys want to get a live 2D model, VTube Studio comes with a bunch of free-to-use models that you can use to create content, to just get started, to just do all of your tech checks, set up anything that you'd like, and have a little play with the VTuber software. However, if you want to use something that's a little bit more personal, there are two routes you can go down. The cheapest one is the free-to-use route for, you can get models on websites like Nizima or Booth. Those are both Japanese websites where you can get pre-made live 2D models. Those are fully rigged. Make sure you look for models that are rigged for VTube Studio specifically, so you don't have any import issues, and you can use those to create content. Make sure you read the license agreement on those, because for some of them, you are not allowed to make merchandise or emotes off of them, so be very, very careful. Same for VTube Studio, you can use your webcam or your iPhone camera. You can use your Android camera, so it's a little bit more difficult to set up, but I've only been using an iPhone for it the entire time. If you want to go down the slightly more expensive route, there are paid-to-use models on both Nizima, Booth. You can find them on Ko-Fi as well. However, please watch out that other people will be using the same model as you. at the same time. You might get confused for someone else, and you might get comments that are like, oh, hey, I've seen XYZ uses the same model. Did you see their model? I've seen a really bad... is it Twitter again? Of course it is Twitter. I've seen a really bad example of this week. A VTuber I follow has been using the same pay-to-use model for quite some time, and they recently got rid of the model and made their own PNG tuber because they got too much harassment for using a pay-to-use model that someone else was using. So keep those in mind. Know that these are usually temporary solutions for most people. A lot of people will move on to making their own custom live 2D or 3D model. And this is the first big section I want to talk about today, which is a VTuber debut. Now, VTuber debuts hail from the corporate section of VTubing. They were first introduced by corporations, showcasing their new VTuber generations hour by hour in a big block of debuts. And the indie community has adopted this format. Usually it consists of a slideshow showing off your model and your expressions, and then a little Q&A segment at the end. There are way more ways to be creative with those. About 2 months ago, I got to do a watch-along for a corporation debuting their new models. They're new VTubers, and I had a really good time seeing probably the most authentic, most creative lore segment of my life. You guys were there! You guys were there at Ricky's debut. That was incredible! Okay, for your debut, you want to prepare 2 main blocks of items. You want to get your model ready, and you want to get your stream ready. Now, this will probably take the longest time. A lot of artists and riggers now have really long waitlists, are barely open, and are getting a little bit more expensive. I feel like models and rigging are becoming more and more expensive each year, and don't let it stop you. There are still tons of people out there that are just getting started and building their portfolio. But know that when I started streaming, VTuber model and rigging you could get for about 300 USD. Now we're looking at another zero on that number. It's been getting a little bit more expensive, and I feel like this is the biggest hurdle for a lot of people, because you gotta get a computer set up if you want to get into streaming. You gotta get an expensive VTuber model, and these things take time and money and effort. The good old days, heck yeah, Brandon, the olden days. 400 USD VTuber model. It's not impossible, it's just a lot more difficult. Back in my day, I got my first VTuber model off of Fiverr. I got my first VTuber model off of Fiverr, and I spent very little on it. This was one of the artist's first or second model that they made as a full body. I got to design my very first VTuber model myself, and then sent in my sketch and went, can we make that? And luckily they made it happen. I do not think that I'm a very good artist, but it was really nice to get that kind of input. Now, I wouldn't recommend Fiverr as much anymore as I did in the past, because it's overrun with AI art, and I've seen some of my friends get really badly scammed recently by AI artists over on Fiverr. So my newer recommendation would be look over on Twitter, look over on Blue Sky, where there's way less bots that you can choose from in terms of artists and riggers. Way less GFX bots that are like, oh hey, here's my portfolio of 3 AI pictures. Can I make you a VTuber model? Do your research, and I can also recommend a really nice website called VGen. That is predominantly aimed at arts and models and rigging for VTubers. Everyone on that website is vetted. I'm not sponsored, but boy, I wish I was. However, we do have really cool sponsors on the stream for today. Did you guys know that you can get 10% off your Turtle Beats order with code Kuromiya, or get 10% off your gamer subs and be at least 10% more awake with code Holy Sheep? Links are in the description below. Ha! You guys thought there was no sponsorship segue today. Gotcha. For your model, you want to prepare the art and the rig before your debut, and you can also find easier ways to get a VTuber design if you are not sure what to make by yourself. A lot of people put up designs for VTubers or OCs as adoptables over on Twitter and DeviantArt. Make sure that you read their terms and conditions. Make sure that you're allowed to use them on stream and get models made of them. But there is also a really cool way to get original designs without having to be the creative driving force behind it, because I know from my friend circle at least, most of us are not artists ourselves. Always make sure to vet your artists properly. Do some reverse searches on the images or the adoptables you're trying to purchase. Make sure to run it through an AI filter if you can. Ask some artist friends to see if the artwork is AI generated or original. Make sure that you contact them, that you put down a deposit, and then you have a contract. This is something that a lot of people don't ever think about throughout their streaming journey, but especially if you're heading for streaming for profit, please make sure you get a copyright contract for your model so you don't have anything terrible happen to you. This happened to me back in 2021. I was getting a new VTuber model design, and the artist that designed the base model for the previous one didn't like that I made a new iteration of the model, and I lost about 5,000 USD in assets and VTuber models and had to completely rebrand, almost lost my job, almost lost everything. Make sure you get contracts for your copyright for your model that are easy to understand and that are in your language. For payments, I would always recommend using PayPal just because of their bias protection. Make sure that there is a deadline in your contract for when you do purchase a custom model. And make sure that all of this happens within 180 days so you're protected by PayPal's chargeback for customers. For your debut stream, there is also the tech side of things. Make sure that you have your streaming software ready and set up. Most people use OBS or Streamlabs. I can't really recommend one over the other, but these are the two most popular streaming programs I have seen used. Some of these are more customizable than others. Some of these have customer support. Some of them have community support. Some of them have no support. So make sure you choose the one that's right for you. If you're an absolute beginner, maybe I can recommend Streamlabs. I still use Streamlabs just because I personally find it easier to navigate and to set up. For your debut stream, you also wanna prepare your slideshow and Q&A segment if you're doing that. And if you have any graphic designs, any logos, overlays, any promotional materials like a trailer or a model reveal, make sure you get them ready way ahead of time of announcing your debut. What's also more used now than it was back in the day is having a reference sheet, emotes, and animated emotes. And make sure that during your debut stream, you reserve one slide in your slideshow where you credit all of your artists involved in your model debut. Everyone's taking notes. Heck yeah. Also important for your debut stream is that you manage your tech and your assets on a budget. What you really want to do is you want to plan a budget of 50-50 for model/tech, so you don't spend too much money on your model and have nothing left for your tech side setup. Do you have to go and purchase an iPhone or a webcam? Or maybe you even have to get a microphone because your PC didn't come with one, or the quality is quite bad. Know that microphone quality matters way more than video quality for streams, especially for VTubing. A lot of people enjoy streams the way that you guys are enjoying it, through a podcast style format. A lot of people enjoy just chatting streams where they put them in the background. I listen to a lot of streams in the background as well. A lot of people do not have the attention span to watch a 5 to 6 hour Twitch stream of a singular game. They'll put you in the background and listen to you and make sure that your audio for this is set up all right, that you have a good microphone, and that you're able to listen to yourself and your audio levels are correct. So chat, make sure to not cheap out on the tech side of things, okay? Good models are great, but having a working setup is way more important. It's important that you set aside a debut fund if you guys want to. I do have in my notes here a little planning sheet if you guys want access to it, so you can go make your own little list for your debut fund and how you want to allocate your funds and how you want to save for them. If you guys want to, you can always stream early with a PNG tuber, no model at all. Or a webcam to go and raise some funds for your debut. Some people get a pay-to-use model and raise funds on the way to their debut, so they are able to pay everything off as it happens. A lot of money can be saved by using used or rental equipment. The majority of my setup is from eBay/pawn shops. I did not spend full price for most of my equipment. All of it is used and cleaned. You can also network with other VTubers up front, so you can have some help with expanding your reach as a content creator, make some friends to do collabs with in the future, and just learn a little bit from everyone else's journey. What you also want to do to prepare for your debut and immediately after is your post-debut schedule. Now, this is something that I give my clients every single time. I ask them what they want to do immediately after debut, and I let them prepare video games, schedules, regular schedules for after the stream, so that once you debut, it doesn't feel like everything is all over. I think that a lot of people get started in VTubing and then they run out of ideas really, really fast because they do everything immediately. Make sure to set a long plan for special streams, games you want to play. Look at the statistics for those games and make a long list so you have something to do immediately after debut. What you should not be doing on the run-up to your debut is silly content farming posts like follow for follow that will just make people block you. If you're over on Blue Sky, you'll probably end up on one of those long VTuber block lists. Don't go into debt for your debut. It is absolutely not worth it, especially if you're just starting out or if you're streaming as a hobby. Don't forget to test your tech setup at least once or twice before your debut stream. Do a little run through, do a little dry run on your own, and maybe run a little test stream on Twitch. Doesn't have to be your entire debut stream, just a little bit of testing your mic quality, testing all of your captures, testing if your model moves okay, and you can always do it privately or delete it after. Make sure you also check your bandwidth before you set everything up. I've seen a lot of people discouraged by how bad their internet signal is, etc. Also, please do your best to not copy any one-on-one elements from other streamers or other VTubers. It will just get you in trouble. Make sure you have a plan ready. Make sure that you have a long gaming schedule. If you have a Steam account, make sure to sort through your games. Install everything up front if you are playing a game alongside your debut. Now, this is for after you have debuted your custom model. Please go on and find your specialty. Now, something that managers will tell you, that consultants will tell you also, is to find your big marketing niche for your VTubing and your stream. This is especially true for people that are doing VTubing for profit. Look into the things that you're passionate about and see how you can bring them to your own stream. Things like if you're an artist, how many illustration streams can you sneak in? Do you want to improve? Maybe give some tutorial style content. Things like music, gaming, ASMR, etc. and make this part of your branding. You do not have to have this worked out immediately at your debut or after. Me going into the funny capitalist gamer sheep niche happened 1 year after my debut. There was always time to rebrand, there was always time to restructure your content, and there was always time to readjust your branding. So, for example, if you are a variety streamer, putting on your bio, I'm a variety VTuber, will likely not make you very searchable, will likely not make you very memorable either. Instead, try going for something that features your specialty and something unique about your model. For example, Pink ASMR Cat VTuber is way better than a variety VTuber. If you don't know what to pick the content that you are currently creating the most, so it makes you more searchable for the content that you already have, rather than what you would like to do. It is really important to pick yourself a niche, either a genre or a category, and then build outwards. Something like if you wanted to get started in ASMR, focus on ASMR and then build outwards with cozy games rather than immediately jumping to horror content. Or if you really enjoy horror content, try expanding outwards into content that features horror elements but aren't exclusively horror. Make sure you utilize all of your social media and don't have empty days. Now, what I mean with this is that please do post on other social medias outside of Twitch. It is incredibly difficult to grow on Twitch or on YouTube without any outside content that you post. YouTube has a lot of chances for you to post evergreen content, this meaning content that is always live, that it can always be watched and can always earn you money after you get monetized. However, if nothing in your shorts content, in your long form content, or in your VODs is searchable, please have other websites where you post your stuff as well. Something more generic, something that can draw people in. Post over on Blue Sky, post over on Twitter, post over on Instagram, on TikTok, YouTube Shorts, anything that could get you discovered and link back to your main platform. This could either be YouTube or Twitch, so you can get some traction and bring new people in. You can also submit to clipping channels and find your ideal starting time that way. Make sure that after your debut, you pick days that you would like to stream on for your schedule and see how you do in the statistics. See how well you do, how well you feel on each day, and what starting time works for you. I sometimes get asked by clients if I can advise them on what stream start time would be good for them. All I can really do is work off of existing data and how people feel. Normally, I would recommend your perfect stream start time and your perfect stream days are those that you feel the most comfortable with, that you do not have any other things to do on, so you can fully focus on your content on those days. Make sure that you promote your stream schedule, your starting time, and what you will be playing on your other social media as well, so people have a chance to find you. Now, I do have a little break in here, so we can go and talk about any questions in the chat. Bring it, chat. I am aware that YouTube has a really long delay for my streams. You guys are about 30 seconds behind, so don't worry about it. I will catch up with every single question. First off, Kata, thank you so much for the membership. Zane, thank you for the membership. I appreciate it. Over a year on YouTube. Let's go. We spread it. Credit your artists. Always credit your artists. Is it necessary to have a debut? No, but I do encourage it. A debut is usually the chance for you to showcase your VTuber, your model, for the very first time to a large audience. If you market it correctly, it will likely be your biggest stream for a very long time. So I do recommend you have a debut, even if you have already streamed in your model, to go and schedule something, make a special event out of it, just for a marketing perspective. It's really good. You absolutely do not have to, especially if you stream as a hobby or if you really do not like the debut format, but it is encouraged. Editing while listening to you in the background right now? Heck yeah! What are you editing today? Louis dropping the best start of VTuber informative podcast. Thank you. Oh, could I also ask? I saw a friend doing a soft debut. I never understood the difference. I think what your friend means by soft debut is that they're using the model for the very first time. It's not a super hyped up event with like a trailer and a model reveal and new assets. They're just kind of testing everything. They will hold their proper debut after. I think what they're doing is raising funds and making it to monetization, making it to affiliate beforehand, so they don't have all of the pressure of a regular debut on them. When I streamed in 2020, my PNG and overlay were on singular PNG layer, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. A lot of people put this weird divide between VTubers that is, live 2D rigged VTubers and then PNG tuber being a completely different category. Unfortunately, for those people, VTubers and PNG tubers are the same thing. They're all faceless streamers. Just because the budgeting is different or because the steps someone goes through is different up until their debut or their content creation journey doesn't make them any less. Don't be afraid to record a little for audio stuff. Absolutely. Please check your audio beforehand. I think the most issues I had when I started out were all audio based. I didn't like how my microphone sounded, and I did have a really cheap secondhand setup. I still have most of the parts of it. I just upgraded my mic since then, and I think the mic made the biggest difference. Remember to have fun. Absolutely. How do you recommend juggling VTubing and a full-time job? Any tips? I had 2 part-time jobs when I started as a VTuber, and I got rid of them one by one as VTubing started generating profit, so I didn't work full-time at the same time. I don't know if I'm the best person to give advice on it. I do work a second job as a manager now, but I'm still setting my own hours. I think that doing less is more. Don't get burned out and lose your passion for streaming, because you will probably come back home really tired. If you're working full-time 9 to 5 and you come back home and you set up your stream, you likely don't have the same level energy that you would have if all you were doing is streaming. Don't let it discourage you. Work less days is probably better for you physically and mentally. And other than that, there are tons of really good scheduling tools out there for your off-stream content. Sites like Metricool or buffer make it possible for you to schedule posts for TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, all of these other sites so you can promote your content while you're at work and you don't even have to think about it. Lolo, not on Switch. No, it's Friday. We're recording podcasts today. This might be a random question. But do you think having the word dumb in your name is bad for a content creator? I have a name with a reserve, but I'm skeptical about it. I don't think so. The only thing you might encounter is getting your views throttled on some websites where the word dumb is censored. That is the only issue you could have with it. I cannot think of any word that would censor it, but places like TikTok that have auto recognition for whatever you're voicing in the video does have auto subtitling systems. They do flag videos and they do throttle videos that have banned words in them. So if you have a banned word in your name or in your branding, I would highly recommend censoring it for shorts platforms. I've been noticed. Let's go! Fabrice, you got this! Any hints for your content for 2025? I'm making 2 new original songs. Little off track, for real. I'm making 2 new original songs. I'm working on a smaller plushie. Smaller, more affordable plushie for the community. More advice content. I'm taking a step back from making subathon style content. I'm doing less marathons this year, but this is more for my own health and well-being. I've done, I think, 2 years in a row of a subathon or subathon style event every single month, and it's time for a break. It's time to do things a little bit differently. I'll take more breaks. Any good tips for learning to publicly speak more comfortably aside from just doing it a lot? Just doing it a lot more. When I first started streaming, I barely talked at all, and I did spend a long time with throat blood. I would spend about 6 to 8 hours a day streaming. I wouldn't make a lot of other content. All I did was stream. I played a lot of horror games. I played a lot of them in one sitting as well. And I would talk and talk and talk non-stop. In my first 2 months, I experienced bleeding in my throat from talking too much and overuse, and I would sound really, really crunchy. And you can hear me go really, really quiet over those first few months of VODs as well, because I wasn't used to talking this much, talking in my Ludo voice that much, that things just got really, really painful. Don't do that. If you get started slower paced, space things out a little bit. Don't talk nonstop either. Most streamers don't sit here and talk 24/7 nonstop for 8 hours. Shorter streams are also really good for you. And then what I can also recommend is dry run video game stream. This sounds so stupid, but when I first got started, I wasn't really used to talking to people the way that I do now. I would put up Minesweeper, and I would start talking about my day while playing Minesweeper. I really struggle with multitasking stuff, so this was my big practice round for playing a game. At the same time, I'm talking about something. When you're streaming, you also gotta read chat, so there's an extra step to it. But I do recommend practicing, even just to yourself recorded, and you are going to hate your voice in a recording. You might hate it forever, you might hate it for a little bit. I actually have to listen to my own voice right now through audio monitoring, so I know that everything is leveled okay. You will get used to it, hopefully. But talking to yourself, talking to your friends over voice call can be helpful too. I did most things by myself when I got started, so talking to myself while playing Minesweeper was a lot easier. It doesn't matter how much a VTuber moves, we're all little cartoony figures on the internet. Exactly! Question! I document my content, marketing, finance, and production. Is there something I'm forgetting in VTubing? Did you file your taxes? I think the thing most people forget about is that if you stream for profit, you gotta tax it. I think that's the only thing in your list. Advertise content, money, my content. Networking possibly, though I don't think it's super essential. I got a big hate commentary in the past because I talked about it on Twitter. I said that networking isn't super essential. I stand by it. I stand by it. You do not need to network with every single VTuber in the community. You do not need to know every single VTuber in the community and in every corporation to become a VTuber. This is not high school. There is no pop quiz. Bottom text. Catching Lulu on YouTube in 2025. Toasties, good to see you. What software would you recommend for image and video editing? I tried to look this up, but I get very mixed results. I've only ever used Adobe software. I know that there are other free softwares out there. This is just the only thing that I have used. I don't edit myself anymore. I want to put that out there as well. The first thing I downsized on when I went full-time was I stopped editing for myself. I hired Cannonball in the chat. Hey, can we get a shout out to Cannonball, please, mods? Can we get some? Let's go, Cannonball in the chat. That's my wonderful editor. That's my wonderful editor. I hate editing so much. It's really not for me. I can't sit still and do that on top of everything else. So much work. I could be streaming instead. Oh, did one a few months ago. I realized too late that my mic was lower than the game audio. Deleted the VOD out of embarrassment. No, I have some really bad VODs too. I don't think I ever took them down. My first stream was Goose Game over on Twitch, and first of all, I couldn't clear the game because I wasn't smart enough. But I put my VTuber in the wrong corner. I was in the wrong corner, tab. I was directly in front of my tab. And I had a big sensor bar running over her thighs because I put her on the wrong layer in the overlay. Terrible idea. We'll all make those mistakes, tab. That's the point. You'll learn. Related to voice stuff, is there a good way to improve speaking more clear / improving clarity? I think the only thing I can recommend is listening to your own voice. If you do have an audio console like a Go XLR or a Scarlett, make sure you set up audio monitoring through your headphones so you can listen to your own voice as you speak. I find more helpful than listening back to it because you can make adjustments live as you do it. I spend about an hour before every single stream practicing singing and practicing the voice. So if you're using a lot of voice acting while you're VTubing, this is a good start. Other things for improving clarity is mic quality and mic settings as well. What about co-working streams? Just do your work and maybe also do their work. I think they're really cool. I don't think I could ever do one like that because I get too distracted and too bored. But I have been listening to co-working streams in the past. Have a weird question. What's the ideal ratio in your opinion for collabs and solo streams? I love collabing, but notice that they tend to have lower views than my solo content. Oh, okay, that's common to a lot of people. Collab content will have less views than their solo content because most of their audience is there for them and the interaction between your audience and you. So as soon as you add another person to it, there's this weird divide of kind of like a hierarchy where you want to talk to your collab partner more than you do want to talk to your chat. It might be really difficult to have fun content, talk to the other person, moderate your chat, answer your chat, everything at the same time. So chat feels kind of like a little bit left out. So if you can play collab games where chat is also involved, that might help. A good ratio of collab to chat content is usually the majority of your content should be your solo content. There are streamers out there that grow mostly through collab content, but if you think of the people that play the collabs, they're big already to begin with. There's also there's a big strategy that I recommend to my clients in terms of collabs where you can stream either the same game in two parts, where one part of the game gets streamed solely to your channel and the other part of the game gets streamed solely to their channel. That way you have a bigger audience exchange, which means that your chat and their chat will be in either side of the stream, so you don't have a huge audience drop-off, but you also get a chance to fully exchange communities that way. It was Space Marine suit and I was yapping the whole 2 hours. Oh heck yeah, I hope you enjoyed Space Marine! Thank you for answering my question, no worries, that's what I'm here for. It was awkward for me when I tried streaming. No, Toasties, it's okay. It's not for everyone. This is the reason why I do recommend people to start out on a $0 budget. Audio is the bane of my existence. Getting really good audio settings takes such a long time. For free video editing, oh, we got a recommendation from chat. Check out DaVinci Resolve. The free one lets you do most of the stuff you need. The paid version is also a very popular alternative to Adobe. Oh, I've seen that before. I've never used it myself, though. Any tutorial recommendations for setting up VTuber streams? I'm having trouble figuring out how to set up all of the elements. What I can recommend is I do have a tweet over on my Twitter. Can we get a Twitter link in the chat? Where you can get an invite to the VTubers of 2025 Discord server. There's a bunch of tutorials I dropped there if you guys want to check them out. There is a bunch of tutorials for making a VROID model, tutorials for setting up Live 2D, tutorials for setting up VTube Studio, and setting up VC Face if this is your first time streaming with a model. Is it a good idea to just try streaming before jumping into a debut? Absolutely! You want to find out if you're enjoying yourself. If you want to get monetized anywhere, you need to stream beforehand or have a certain amount of views. Over here on YouTube, you need to have a certain amount of views and watch time on a video to get monetized. And over on Twitch, you have to stream for several days for so and so many hours to a different to a certain average of viewers. So once you reach those, you can get emotes and monetization on your stream. What a lot of people do before their debut streams is get a bunch of emotes made and then reach affiliate. So on their debut stream, people are able to use them. But yeah, trouble figuring out how to set up all of the elements. I do have another series of shorts content coming out where I talk about setting up overlays and setting up alerts and stuff like that in a little bit more details in about 1-minute videos. So keep an eye out for those as well. How many monitors worth of software management for streaming? I figure video, audio, chat, game, etc. takes up a lot of screen space. I have seen people stream with a singular monitor. I have 3. One is just for me to monitor my model, so I don't technically need it. I have a center one that is where the game is happening, where chat overlays is placed. And then I have another one for my streaming software in case anything goes wrong so I can see what happens. You can definitely do it with 2. You can definitely do it with 1. You might have a little bit of difficulty reading your chat if you don't have a plugin that places your chat directly over your game. But other than that, 1 monitor is perfectly fine. That's always a good strategy. Heck yeah! Do you find that similar to other industries? Many VTubers tend to copy one another or follow trends too often. No. I get really annoyed by the comparison thing. I think I made a short about this in the past. I really hate when it's like, oh, this VTuber looks like this VTuber. Oh, this VTuber sounds like this VTuber. We get it. You're the VTuber police. Sit down. No one cares! You can find the VTuber that you enjoy the most. You can go and watch the same. You can go and watch the same trend be done by 2 different VTubers, and they will be completely different. The streamer mode if needed, situational, of course. Oh, I do like playing with chat a lot. I think chat knows the amount of hours that we spend on marbles on stream. We're nearing 900 hours this year, chat. I do love marbles. Oh, back in, I use Sony Movie Studio Platinum. Oh, another software recommendation for editing. $30 to $40 purchases and you'll get all the necessities. Heck yeah, this is coming from my editor directly. Not everything needs a full monitor, and you can get away with smaller tablet-like monitors that are less than $100. When I started, I had 1 screen and I read my chat off of my iPad on the side, so the delay was a little bit bigger, but I was able to moderate my chat and like read my chat on the iPad instead of that. That's so true, Goober. You're so right. You can manage with just one, especially if you read chat on the phone or if you can see a game playback with no delay through OBS. That's true. I've seen that happen before as well, where you play your game in windowed mode and you pull your streaming software over it. Marbles on stream is my jam. Heck yeah. That's so nice. Okay, we did talk about debut and we did talk about the setup of things. What I can recommend to people that are wanting to go a little bit further and work ahead of them, those of you that are re-debuting in the chat, and those of you that already have everything set up and all ready to go, what you want to focus on after your debut is reviewing and analyzing all of your data from your stream, especially if you're pushing for a Twitch partner or YouTube partner. There are some really great resources out there to look at your statistics that are completely free. They take a little bit of time to learn, but they are completely free. There are some really cool websites like Twitch Tracker. Twitch directly has in the Discovery tab lot of cool statistics you can go and check out. And Salinome for gaming recommendations. If you're ever unsure if a game will do well on Twitch, you can look at good global statistics and recent statistics for the game that way. The best stream time for you depends on your energy and your niche. For example, if you do play a lot of kids games, Saturday, Sunday streams, daytime for your time zone might be easier for you to find an audience in. And if you do play spicier content or horror content, late night streams might do really good for you. It's always important that you guys set yourself a goal, a major goal, like a target income or a target engagement and a target audience based on your goals. Make sure that you bring in your target audience through other social media. I talked about this before when I mentioned to post on shorts platforms. What can be really helpful is to focus specifically on hashtags geared towards your target audience, things related to the games that you're playing, that you're posting clips of, and think about the platform you post on. If you have limited time to post on platforms and only want to run so many accounts at the same time, there's nothing wrong with posting on everything, but if your audience is non-generic, let's say you mostly play Minecraft content, I would say focus on TikTok over Instagram because the Instagram audience is a lot older than your audience will be on TikTok. For those of you that are focusing on making money through streaming, something good to bring into your stream early on are sub goals, or here over on YouTube, I guess you have super chat goals. You can showcase these and incentives for them on your stream overlay directly. Make sure that you have open goals and hidden goals in your subathon super. I have to look it up again. I cannot believe that it's called super chat. As a Twitch streamer, I cannot believe it's called super chat. That's crazy. Open goals are goals that directly showcase what you are raising funds for. Things like new merchandise, new model, your rig, your debut specifically, so people know exactly what they are donating towards. And hidden goals, these are things like a hand cam stream where the cost might cover the cost of the hand cam you're going to spend it on, or things like a 3D stream or 3D concert where the cost will cover the 3D modeling cost. There's also other ways to raise money through VTubing directly. Things like merchandising, either through a warehouse or an on-demand print shop like Fourth Wall or Streamlabs merch store. Make sure that any artwork you sell or resell, you have the commercial license contract to. Make sure you have a contract that you make yourself, that your artist signs with both of your IRL names if possible. And make sure that these are up to date and you're able to give them to your merch supplier if you make a contract with a VTuber merch store. This was something I touched on briefly earlier, and this is something that always scares my clients when I sign them up for management. Make sure that if you reach the threshold for taxes in your country, where your income will be taxable, make sure you register as a business and make sure that you tax your income generated through streaming, merchandise, donations, anything surrounding VTubing, and your tax-deductible expenses. Things like your VTuber model, any kind of overlay, any kind of emote, any kind of advertisement and promotional material that you have that is related to your stream and that you only use for your stream is tax-deductible. This includes things like games. In most countries, you can get these costs for the games that you have proof of playing on stream, which is really easy to obtain if you save your VODs. This is also the reason why I keep every single VOD from every single stream that I ever made titled with the games that we played. So in case anyone ever audits me, I can go, hey, I played this game on stream. This was a streaming expense only. Look at the hours that I've streamed this game. Look at the hours that it has playtime on Steam. This was a tax-deductible cost. And then things like editing, any kind of art commission, anything you use on your social media, anything you use for marketing is also a tax-deductible expense. So is your business Wi-Fi, if you have a separate Wi-Fi, phone number, or any contracting work like getting background music or original songs made. Okay, it's time for another round of questions, and then I only have some final thoughts if you guys are up for it. Ears perked up. Great, welcome to the chat. Feel free to ask away, chat, and then we can move on to the final segment for today. Goal, start streaming. Heck yeah. Do you have any advice for creating content without having viewers to bounce off of? Also, thanks for your knowledge in general. No, thank you so much. Your first streams will always be a little bit emptier. You have to go and start engaging with your audience in many different ways. It is helpful if you have a topic prepared, if you have little post-it notes around your table, if you have a list of things you want to talk about, and bring those lists into your stream every single time. Make sure to ask chat questions. Make sure to engage them through either viewer games or just through conversation in general. Sometimes you will get no answer. Sometimes it will be quieter. But it's good to get used to talking even if nobody is listening. Is it worth to have multiple channels for them? I've been asking people, is it literally worth to have more channels to store VODs, clips, and so on? YouTube algorithm prefers you only use so many categories and so many lengths and styles of videos per channel. So it is helpful if your VOD channel, if you just upload all of your VODs to a different channel, to have them separate from content that is your main edited content. Yes. What main purpose would they normally contribute? VOD archives are specifically for VODs, for people to watch back on content that they missed, because places like Twitch only store them for a certain amount of time. It's, I believe, 2 weeks for affiliated streamers, and for partner streamers, I think we get 2 or 3 months. Unsure, a little bit longer, but I do save all of mine, and Twitch has an exclusivity clause where you cannot post a VOD within 24 hours of streaming it. So you gotta save it, download it, keep it, and then after 24 hours you can post it elsewhere. This also goes for clips, by the way. Please don't post your clips off the same stream immediately after on Twitter. You can get penalized for that. You can lose your account. With producing content, how to get over idealized, perfected product and get to actually posting. Know that anything, wait, Cactus, you should know this, you're an artist. Anything you create at any given point in time, you will hate later on. You will think, I could have done better, and you will do better. That's growth. That's how you grow as a creator. If I go back to posts I made in 2021, they probably suck redacted. They're not good. Know that you're always able to do better in the future, but you gotta have to start somewhere. The best time to start VTubing would have been like 4 years ago. No doubt. Absolutely. When it first started picking up. But the other best time you have is right now. Don't look back on this and regret it. Go make content right now. It doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be polished. Literally yesterday, I had to cancel a stream 3 minutes in because capture software stopped working. Sometimes things happen. Sometimes stuff isn't perfect. Should you learn by experience? Absolutely. That's why I'm on my 30th model revision. No! This is the main reason I never learned how to draw VTuber models. I'm an okay artist for backgrounds and non-human things. But I think if I ever learned how to draw and rig a VTuber model, I don't think I would ever get to streaming. I think I'd be too perfectionist too. I think I'd be sitting here revising the model for the millionth time. How do you actually get people to come to your stream? Advertise it elsewhere. For some people, this advertisement looks like networking. They talk to other people, they set up collabs, they invite people over. To some people, this means paying for advertisement. I wouldn't recommend it. I would recommend growing organically. And for some people, that means the usual long route. Posting on other social media, being funny there, getting views there, bringing people over that way. That's where I am. Haster! Oh no. Haster is a really goated artist. Haster in the chat is the person that made our upcoming chibi model. Heck yeah. Can we get some worms in the chat for Haster? 2 weeks for normal users, affiliate is 1 month, prime users, and partner is 2 months. Thank you, Wits. Thank you. Okay, so 2 weeks of VOD storage for normal users, affiliate 1 month, and prime users, and partner is 2 months. Wow, I didn't even know my VODs were there for 2 months. That's crazy. That's so long. I can do graphic design, but I can't draw. I go insane every time I have to pick a font for a meme. I was sitting here yesterday after my canceled stream, and I was working on memes for my Twitter account. And it took me the longest amount of time. It took me 5 ever to go and find matching fonts. Fonts is the bane of my existence. Once you go a little bit further in VTubing, I wanted to touch on this after this Q&A segment. Comic Sans is the way to go. Absolutely, all the time. Comic Sans everywhere. If you guys want to go further in VTubing and you want to focus more on profit-driven content, if you want to focus more on making this your living and your main source of income, I can highly, highly recommend maximizing your productive time, hiring editors and staff, maybe assistants, maybe managers, getting some sponsorships, and working on growing off-stream as well. As I said, I was sitting there yesterday making a bunch of memes for my Twitter account. I do have 3 blocks of 2 hours each set aside every single week to work on offline content, and I don't even edit. This is just scripting things. This is coming up with new ideas for streams, coming up with new things for chat to do. Making a new plan for content, making a new plan for gaming stuff. Planning is so much more important than what you actually do live. Sometimes people like to join agencies. There's a ton of adoption-style agencies out there, so go and help them with management. Also, look into merchandise of your own VTuber once you're starting to grow. Some people like to work on music-based projects. A lot of the VTuber community is an offshoot off of the trying to sing Utatemita community. So there are a lot of VTubers that are really passionate about making song covers. So if that is for you, something worth looking into. And make sure that the further you grow, the more in the know you are about your legal resources. Make sure that you NDA certain people that need to be NDA'd. Make sure that you always have contracts for the things that you're working on. Now, what I briefly wanted to talk about is management and VTubing, and if management is right for you. There are 2 types of management services out there. There is the consultant/manager, which is what I do, and then there's company-style management. Company-style is talent management, which usually are places that hold auditions. These are VTuber corporations. They, you want to showcase a new audition, what you can do, what you want to achieve, what your approach to goals and your issues is. And then make sure that your values and the company's values align, where you want to go with your content, whether you want to rebrand or get adopted as your current character. Make sure that you understand their business if you go and audition for any of those. And make sure that you always follow the NDAs you're given to by corporations that do audition you. If you're planning on hiring a consultant/managers, there are tons and tons of analysts and social media managers out there. Make sure that you review who they are. Look at reviews from other people. Look at if they can do it themselves. If they were or are a content creator themselves, you can see their portfolio live then and there. I'm a VTuber manager, but I'm also a VTuber. So I know what's going on at the same time. I have been with really great managers, and I have been with really, really awful managers and consultants that had no idea about what even a VTuber is. So make sure that they know and that they are right for you. Make sure you bring your past metrics and an overview for your content if you're hiring someone on a one-off basis. I ask this of all of my management clients, that they make me a little list of what they want to achieve, what they want to get out of this meeting, so I can focus on what they want to do. Okay. I wanted to also briefly touch on sponsorships. As you guys know, this here podcast, the SHEEPIUM podcast, is sponsored by the amazing people from Turtle Beach. Get 10% off your Turtle Beach peripherals with code Kuromiya. And make sure to also get 10% off your gamer subs purchase. Be more awake, at least 10% more awake, with code HOLYSHEEP at checkout. That's Turtle Beach, code Kuromiya, and gamer subs, code HOLYSHEEP, all caps. Link is in the description below. For sponsorships, let's briefly touch on these. There are 3 different types of sponsorships. There is the free product style of sponsorship, where you are basically getting a free item. Turtle Beach does this a lot for me. They did send me a bunch of free keyboards. And I am I'm the main driving advertisement source through hand cam streams and making little snippets of content for it. Is usually the lowest value sponsorship, where you just get handed a product and then you can go and advertise for the company. Usually this is for a definitive amount of time. These are sponsorships like, here are our gamer gripper socks. Please wear our gamer gripper socks to stream at least twice, and that's it. You can keep them. We don't want our socks back. Another style of sponsorships is the promo code, which is the MLM of the multi-level marketing scheme of streamer sponsorships. This is usually a, here is our product, please promote the product. Every sale you make, you get a percentage of the payout. These are the majority of sponsorships you will come in contact with in VTubing and in streaming in general. Make sure that you vet who you are signing a sponsorship contract with, because these are long-term, usually last about 1 year. And then there is a payment threshold that you need to reach to get paid out from these. So make sure you read your contracts carefully. The highest value sponsorship you can get as a streamer is the lump sum payment, which is something like, here is our video game. I'm offering you 500 USD to test out our video game on the stream. We want at least 1 hour, and we want you to send us the VOD. That's it. These are sort of form contracts. You usually get the highest amount of payment out of them, and I highly recommend them to people that want to focus more on streaming for profit. Make sure that you always disclose that your content includes a sponsor, especially here on YouTube, because they can get really, really mean about it. Or over on Twitch, make sure that you toggle the little box that says contains advertiser content so you don't get in trouble. A good sponsor will have transparent contracts and private communication. They will talk to you through your DMs or preferably through email. Well, they will send you a contract, maybe an NDA, maybe physical mail to sign. And they will always be open for communication. If you are with a sponsor that does not provide you with a contract, that's not a sponsor. If you are with a sponsor that does not keep communications between you and them private, but only messages you on Twitter publicly, that's not a sponsorship. You're being scammed. Now, chat, this is our final chance for questions before we reach the end of today's podcast. Anything else? Let me go through chat. So what if you want to do streaming for fun and not for a job? How should I approach it, and what should my mindset be? Enjoy yourself. Play the games that you enjoy. Make sure that you're streaming with and to people that you like to hang out with. Don't push yourself to network, and don't push yourself to post 9 million things elsewhere. If it is literally just as a hobby instead of a job, have fun. Put your fun over a profit mindset. Is another thing I've been asking. Let's say you started off and unfortunately I'm not able to afford to pay editors and so on. Do you think it's worth hiring them right now? If you cannot afford someone, don't hire them. That's it. It's that easy. If you're unsure if you can pay the people that you want to commission, save up. Make sure you have the money first. Baby steps or long strides. Exactly, Drakina, you're so right. Do you accept commissions as managing someone's content? I do, and the links are over on Twitter and on Blue Sky. They should be in the highlights tab. Thank you for asking. Thank you, mods, for linking it. I appreciate it. Talk about sponsors. When was the last time you've seen anyone? Oh God, we can't talk about that. Those days. I haven't seen it in years now. Me neither, but it's been a great meme. Grippers mentioned. Emailing meme. Question. Oh, how do we include the information that the video live or otherwise is sponsored? Description sufficient, or should it be in the title? That depends on which country you live in and what your sponsor specifies. On YouTube, if you have a sponsored stream, you should have it in the description. In the UK, for a while, we had a law where we had to do a hashtag ad in the title. Not anymore. Not anymore. But it really depends on where you live and what the individual rules of the platform are. But usually, disclosing in a little tick box that said this video or stream contains advertiser content. And then the same would happen for Twitch. There's a little box you can tick. Do you find a good voice is more suitable for certain kinds of streams? Do you mean ASMR specifically? Or do you mean what people find objectively attractive in a voice? Because that's very different. It differs from person to person, I think. I think that the VTubers that I listen to on a day-to-day basis are probably not who you're thinking about. And everyone has different preferences for different voices. Having a deep radio voice, oh heck yeah! Absolutely, I am your target audience. This depends really on who you're marketing to. Gremlin voice? What do you mean a gremlin voice? Like in the movie? Oh, you mean like a this belongs to a GB model kind of voice. It does help if your voice matches your model, but it absolutely does not have to. You are my target audience, ayo? Is this Riz, chat? Is this Riz? Holy shit. The final closing notes I have for today is make sure you have fun. No matter if you stream for profit or just as a hobby, make sure you have some aspect of your job, asterisk, VTubing, be enjoyable. Make sure that you have something about it that makes you get up in the morning, that you enjoy talking to people. Make sure that you enjoy your model. The video games that you play, the niche you box yourself into. Don't do everything just for profit, because I promise you, it will get boring really fast. Thank you for all of your wonderful questions today, chat. Thank you for joining me for the VTubing in 2025 panel. I really enjoyed this today. I had a really good time. We don't normally do a lot of long-form learning style content, educational content, TM. And I don't normally do it over on Twitch, so I am open for questions. If you guys have anything else you want to ask, we have a long Marbles on Stream segment tomorrow. If you want to drop in and ask any further questions. Other than that, I will see you over on my shorts content, where I'm making more VTuber off the chlorine pond. What is thy wisdom? In the coming week. Other than that, I will see everyone else again tomorrow, 3 p.m. GMT. That's 10 a.m. Eastern time for the Burgerlanders on the East Coast. I want to thank my chat for being a wonderful guest again today on the SHEEPIUM podcast. We will be back in about 2 weeks' time with a live interview of our first guest in the new season. I hope you guys will enjoy interview-style SHEEPIUM podcast content in this wonderful new year of 2025. And I wish you all of the best on your VTubing journey. Thank you, Tad. Thank you for being my guest today. And I will see everyone bright and early tomorrow. I wish all of my lambs a wonderful good night. Don't let the degenerates bite you. I love you. You're valid. Goodbye and good night. Bye-bye.